Hey guys, just in case you want to replicate on your machines either in the classroom or maybe some point at home, that whole process of how to get the VMware player going, how to install an operating system on it, and how to turn, ultimately what we're doing right now, how to turn this virtual machine into a web server, I've decided to make a screen capture and walk you through. So I gotta have my Chrome here. First of all, I'm gonna download the VMware Player. So you could also do that at home on any machine. I'm just Googling it. I don't have any specific address to go to. It's VMware as a company, so you'll find it at vmware.com. I'm just gonna Google this. There we go. Download VMware Workstation Player. That is the free version that we've been using in the classroom. You can use other tools. You can use VirtualBox. You can use Microsoft's Hyper-V if you want to. This is just the one we're using at school, and I wanted to keep it that way. So there's an option to buy a commercial license. We don't need that. We just want the player here. And there it is. Try Workstation 17 Player for Windows. Download now. And save this in my downloads folder. Shouldn't take too long. And here it is. Good. Minimize my browser. This is the executable to install the actual player. Just double-clicked it. Now we're waiting. Yes, I gotta confirm this. And next. And I gotta accept the terms. That's your EULA here, your end user license agreement. Next. So I just had to read this. This is a new message to me. Remember when we did this in school, I asked you to disable Hyper-V. I forgot to do this on my machine here, but there's an option now to install Windows Hypervisor platform through the host. So that's an alternative. So I can either install that or I got to remove the Hyper-V role. Let's just try this. It's new to me, so I'm going to check this box here. Let's say next. I don't need enhanced keyboard drivers, I think. Okay, next. I don't want to check for updates on startup. Just holds me back. I don't want to join any customer experience improvement program either. So I'll uncheck this. And I say next. I don't want a desktop icon. I want one in my start menu though. And here goes the installation. I'll be back when that is done. The installation has finished. It only took a few more seconds actually. I click the finish button here. And now in my start menu, I should see the VMware Workstation Player. Here it is. Okay. Now keep in mind, this is the installed application. Your installer, you won't even need anymore. So the file that I downloaded earlier to do this installation, I can trash because it's actually using half a gig here. I don't want to keep that, so I'm just going to delete this and get rid of it. The next file I'm going to need is a Linux operating system. In school we used Mint, so let's just stay with this. Linux Mint download. That download might take a little longer. It's probably around 2.5 gigabytes. So your mileage may vary depending on your internet speed at home or wherever you do this. Downloads, latest version, Cinnamon edition, Mate edition, or Mate actually, XFCE. I'm just going to use the Cinnamon here. That's what we used in school, and that is a nice one. I'm gonna get it from some US hosted server. And usually I go with some university or something that's typically clean. I mean, they're all clean, but well maintained. And here, Harvard. Let's get it from Harvard. And I'm gonna put that in my downloads. My download has completed. It's in my downloads folder as expected. There it is, 2.9 gigs, almost 3 gigs. Now I'm going to use my VMware player to set this up. I want to use this for free. I don't have a license key. Minimize all this here. Okay, I'm going to create a new virtual machine. I say I will install the operating system later. I'm going to pick Linux. I'm going to pick Ubuntu 64-bit because Mint is a fork off of Ubuntu. I'm going to name it Mint VM or something, whatever you want to name it. Location in my case is fine. I like to keep them in a OneDrive because it occupies a lot of traffic when it uploads and syncs and all that. My documents is local here. Minimum disk size 20 gigs. So if I want to use this for a web server, I have some space here. I'm going to make mine 40 gigs. And I'm going to leave this as recommended. Next. And I'm going to customize the hardware. Now in my case, I can give it a few more cores here because my computer is pretty beefy. In school, you only have probably, I forgot, we only have like 4 cores there. So you can probably only give it 1 or 2 in school, but at home you may have machines with a little bit more power and you can give them more. I'm going to make this here 8 cores for my case. It depends on what you have. You can't give it more than you physically have available, obviously. I'm going to change the video here to 128 megabytes. That usually runs well. And the network adapter, I'm going to set that to bridged. And I ran into a few issues with that, and I could fix them in school when I clicked this box here to replicate the physical network connection state. I'm not 100% certain what that actually does. And then I went in here, configure, and I unchecked everything except for my actual Ethernet card here. Okay. And then I go into the DVD drive and I pick my downloaded ISO file. And I'll finish this. And now hopefully this works just like in school and I didn't make a mistake here with my quick install. Okay. Start Linux. When your mouse is lost here, like right now, I cannot get my mouse out of the window. There was just a little pop-up that told you to press Control and Alt and that'll release the mouse. If I do this right now, Control and Alt, there comes the mouse back. Otherwise, it's sort of stuck in that virtual monitor here. I'm now connected to a wired connection. Now this is where many of you had an issue because you booted into this and then you thought you were done. This is just a preview, what's called a live environment. This is used for testing purposes or to recover a machine that has otherwise problems to boot. If you want your operating system installed on this virtual machine, you gotta do this here and actually run the installer. So I'm gonna do this now. Obviously, we leave this in English, continue, English US, continue. We don't need multimedia codecs, saves you some time. Keep everything always as light as you can. Now this option stays where it is. We're erasing the disk and installing Mint on it. If you continue, the changes will be permanent. Yes, please. This is our time zone. It says Chicago, but we live right here. It's the same time zone. You gotta give your machine a username. Give it a name you can remember. Give it a useful machine name. That's later going to be the host name. I'm going to call mine, I'm just going to call it Mint VM. And you got to give it a password. If you're not using this for anything productive, if there's not going to be any sensitive information on this machine, if you don't do banking, password stuff with it and so on, make it simple so you can remember it if you don't use this for another while, and then you get back to it. Make sure you remember what you used. I'm just going to do my usual 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Oops, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. This here doesn't mean it's not possible, it just is a warning. It still takes it. And continue. And now we gotta live through the slideshow here. Pause this here and come back later. And we're back. So the installation went through, and now I can just restart this virtual machine. It'll say something about removing the installation medium and press enter. You can just press enter, it should be good. There it is. Just make sure you click on the screen, press enter, and it'll reboot to your now installed Mint on the virtual machine. Now keep in mind, the whole point we do this so we have another computer to play with. It explains the concept of virtualization, but also for some of our labs, I just need you guys to have a second computer on the network. That's why in the beginning I asked you to switch this to bridged mode, so you have an IP address that actually fits your own physical network. And I'm up and running. So just like if you see this splash page popping up here with the welcome, first steps, and yada yada yada, if you don't want to see this, uncheck the box, and then it'll be gone. If you move this around and go to full screen, it should probably scale properly. Let's see. Yep, it does that. Okay. Play around, make it yours. If you want to change the wallpaper or something, I like usually this one, or this also kind of neat. Whatever, you can download your own, and there are some more pre-installed here if you like stuff like that. Just to make yourself a little more at home, feel free to do that. That's almost a little like Windows 11, right? Cool. Ugh. That looks neat. Okay. I'm going to leave this. So this is the virtual machine. If I go full screen on this button, then I don't see the underlying windows anymore. That makes it convenient, makes it as if you're sitting in front of this computer. Later we're going to minimize this. First thing I want you to do here is I want you to install SSH so you can remotely access this. Even if you're not truly in a different place, we want to pretend this machine could be anywhere on the network. And in order to get this done, you open your terminal and you type in this command. First of all, you should update your system, sudo apt update. Oops. You're gonna have to type in your password. You will not see the typing, that is by design. Oh, actually you do see it here. That's later when you log in remotely, you don't see it, okay. We want to make sure our Mint knows where all the packages are in the software repository. That is kind of like an app store. And for installations, it needs to know where everything is packed, so it knows how to find all the parts of your installations that you're going to do. We need SSH installed here. Do this command. Missing destination file. What? Oh, my bad. Not sudo install. Sudo apt install, of course. If you want to continue, of course you want to continue. That's why you started this in the first place. But you always get this warning, how much space will be occupied. If you don't want this to happen, you can actually include in this command here a -y for yes, and then it would skip this prompt here. All right. Now you should be able to actually log in not only with the IP address, but with this here, with the actual host name. I should be able to take this user, add host name, and log in remotely via SSH from my Windows. To try this, I'm going to minimize this now. So just know the machine is running and is connected to the network. I'm going to open my command prompt here. First, I'm going to see the response. Ping mint VM. There's a reply. And I see the IP address. That's the IP of my virtual machine here. And now I'm going to do my remote access. Authenticity can be established, blah, blah. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, no. You want to do yes. And it's asking me to put in the password for the virtual machine. And this proves that you're logged in. Most of you have submitted those remote login screenshots, so you're familiar with this. And now I'm not going to even go back here anymore. I'm going to start installing my web server just remotely while I'm logged in. So it's going to be the next video. This was just now the basic setup of VMware Player 17, and then the download of Linux Mint operating system and the subsequent installation of it. And afterwards we have installed SSH on that virtual machine, and now we can establish remote login from anywhere on the network. Okay, I'm going to stop here and start a new video.